big backside one.
Yes, that's the one that well you haven't been on social media, so you haven't heard, but that was the other thing because they're like it's the fastest CME in the
Oh,
thing, and
that's
everybody was
what the Type 2
everybody
alert was that I got. It was like 1200, I think,
yeah
kilometers per second. That
everybody
was the
was
front
losing
side.
their minds over it
Side,
because
backside.
they're like oh my God it's a Carrington event and this and whatever.
No, let's
Yeah,
see.
it's
Do we
like
have
do
any
not.
speed estimates for that? Because it looks, I mean, it's probably
Uh,
a couple thousand kilometers a second,
yeah,
I
I
bet.
mean it was legit fast, but
Ooh,
yeah.
let's check Cactus. I haven't checked Cactus in a second.
So, okay, let me send this link to Margaret and Les so they can have it.
Let's see, what time was that?
Da, da, da. Okay. I don't know because I was at work, so I really have no idea the
The
timing of any of this.
21st, 909 UTC.
Okay, and then so I know when
21st.
all this stuff was happening with Priceline, and then Tanya's like, I can't do. I'm like, Tanya, I need you because I'm like I've been working too many hours, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that did help.
It's like
Let's see.
I need my crutch.
It looks like average, oh yeah, of course the sample rate was all over the place, but
Yeah.
1100 kilometers a second is the average for that one.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just
Still pretty damn good.
it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, there's a 1600 sample. That looks like the same one.
All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit
Oh,
here.
no.
We can just chit chat back and forth.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going
Um,
over this data at least to have some interesting
yeah. Well,
imagery. So we got three at the beginning, then this really big one,
like calm down.
and then let's see, another one from the southeast, and an ongoing one from the God, everything is either the east or behind the limb.
Yes,
There's
I know.
nothing on the way to us. Lovely.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's very showy.
Yeah, this has been pretty fun imagery there.
I'm
Oh, I
just
guess now it would benefit to check YouTube.
yes, I'm just
I assume we have people in chat now.
and there's yeah, it looks like there's four people watching. Yeah, Ray's there and Les is here for sure.
Hi guys.
Hi. Yeah, in case I'll catch you guys up to speed of why I'm an hour late. Um so I get off of work and I gotta go to Traverse City to help with a workshop, but I'm stopping off in Bay City, Michigan, all in Michigan. And I made a reservation on Priceline. I get to the hotel, they don't have any record of it. So I have to call Priceline. And where I thought I'd be on hold for maybe 30 minutes or something ended up being all said and done about an hour and 45 minutes. And but the funny part about this whole thing is I am in the exact same hotel that I was in a week ago when I was here working. And it's a much nicer place. Like the one that I booked because this is how I roll. I either sleep in my car or I book really crappy hotels. It was right off the highway in front of a fireworks store and it was kind of sketchy. So was it worth sitting on the phone with Priceline for an hour and 45 minutes? Maybe,
Well, yes.
because this hotel is much nicer and they had to eat all the cost. So essentially it's free. So I can't whine anymore, except for the fact that I wanted to get this stream going with
Yeah, I
time.
mean, taking 2 hours of your time is a pretty
Yes.
bad thing too.
And in case you guys haven't noticed, Tanya isn't here because she had something to do. And so we're gonna blame this all on Priceline.
Oh yeah,
Mine's fault.
absolutely cool with that.
So anyway, long story short, we're here. We made it work. We're gonna talk about current events because this is kind of interesting. It's the shape of the coronal hole dictates what happens, and we actually have some data now to back that up. So it's pretty interesting to look into. And we have a lot of kind of really cool current events going on too. But like Christian said, none of it's earth facing, unfortunately. But still eye candy to look at. So we'll go through that. Do you want to bring that imagery up first?
Yes, so we'll do some JHelio viewer, and then I can bring up the slide deck if you want to talk about the slides there.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But okay, so I've got 304 mixed with one, or so 211 rather, to see the Corona parts. I made that red so that the colors are the same and it's a little less distracting. So you can see the Corona bits a bit more than if you were just looking at. Actually, did I switch that back to 304? I did. Okay. So basically, this is the 20th. This is the prominence eruptions on the side. You've got this giant prominence down here, and then you've got this one up here. The southeast one launches first, which pretty nice eruption.
Yeah, that's a pretty one.
And then you have the top one also not quite as photogenic, at least in the Corona, but merging out to see Glasgow instead. It was a very, very nice. So there's the southeastern one and then the northeastern one shortly after it. Not quite as impressive. But so you have two CMEs there, technically three. There was two eruptions in the southeast, one after the filament initially launched. And then you've got a lot of nothing. So I want to see now. So I might as well just bring it up. We had a giant CME. This one
Yeah.
is pretty
Boom.
good looking. Looks like it came from just about, I don't actually have a far side map, but I'm assuming it's just to the our east of center disk over on the other side. So
I
it's
think
not
Tanya said
direct, but
this should clip or hit solar orbiter, so
cool.
we might be able to see what kind of power this thing had.
Wouldn't surprise me. In fact, if this had happened instead on the western side, I think there's even a chance we'd see some, it wouldn't be the actual CME, but we'd see influence from it.
Or at least
But yeah,
solar
no effect.
SEP event, probably.
Yeah, yeah, more than likely. In fact, there's a chance. I haven't looked at high proton monitors. I wonder if there was any bumps or anything from this.
Oh yeah,
Certainly
because
possible.
sometimes those backsided powerful eruptions can still throw us protons.
There was a type 2 alert I know from this as well. I believe it was at least from this because I want to say it was like 1100 or something kilometers a second. It was a decently fast
Yeah.
one compared to what we
I
normally
will
see.
note though, it wasn't the media world got kind of silly with it too, and like called
That
like
doesn't surprise me.
it's a Carrington thing, it's the strongest one ever, and blah. It wasn't. So just keep that in mind.
In case everyone doesn't know either, I'm off of social media for now on a break, so I don't get to see any of this stuff anymore. It's super nice to be ignorant to the
Yeah.
hype of social media. But point is, we had so yeah, giant, beautiful looking CME, all from the far side though, so not even close to being relevant for us outside of just the aesthetics of it happening. And then there's not a lot happening outside of a couple more CMEs from the southeast. There is a let's see. Oh, there's a data gap there, it looks like.
Oh,
Uh,
shocking.
not too long, but a little bit. So hard to say where that CME, oh, excuse me, is coming from.
There was a recent flare today too on the eastern.
Yeah, the
It's
southeast, and I'm
in the
assuming
slide
maybe
deck.
that's what it actually showed
That
up.
that guy, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So then, yeah, it was more than likely that. So also not thrown at us, but pretty nice looking as well. It's fairly fast, it looks like. And I love when you look at the Corona, you've got these coronal loops here, and you can see the ejection coming out and the lines bending outward as it breaks through. So you know this is if you're looking at SDO for those that are kind of newish or even really, I guess we'll say tenured a little bit more, but not quite to looking up stuff on imagery. This is your immediate sign that yes, there's absolutely a CME involved in this. You've got field lines breaking, field lines stretching, and then you've got these post-eruption arcades that are absolutely gorgeous to look at that form in the newly formed field. So definitely something there. It looks like, is there something that broke there too?
No, that's
It looks tiny, but that looks kind of like almost a sigmoid forming.
that's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of filaments on the disc right now too.
So it look like in 211. It's pretty minor. It might just be something, an effect
Oh.
from the other one coming out. Point is, though, lots of cool things to look at. Even a nice big CME in the backside. That's the first time we've seen that in a minute. But as far as Earth directed, we got zip, nada, nothing.
Zip.
So that's fun. Here's also the, well, here's the new kernel hole that'll be coming around,
Yeah, we're gonna
but we'll go into that as well.
yeah, there's a slide on that one too.
Oh,
So
you know what? I'll keep sharing. And if you want to do the,
or I mean, yeah, I guess I could do that unless you want me to share it.
oh, do you have the slide deck up?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, then you do it.
at least hold on. Hang on, let me make
That way
sure.
you can point and move on
Yeah,
it
I
at
can use
will.
I can use the mouse cursor and point. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So let's go through our wonderful little slide deck. All right. Says I'm sharing, so hopefully I'm sharing.
Yep, looks good.
This is my only thing. It's like every time I try to share something, it never shares. I'm like, we can't see your screen.
Yeah, it's still at least you're good here.
All right, here we go. Hold on. Now I got it. Now I got it. Sorry, my gosh. Okay. I didn't mean to start it in the middle of the slide deck. My brain is just not here. It's been a long
Unplugged.
it's been a long week. I'll just say that. Like I'm still in my work outfit. God. Okay, anyway, let's talk this here. So we had that, as Christian said, we had that filament eruption on 820. It was really cool to look at. It's I love seeing because you can see these really well on the edges. So they're really quite pretty to see in
I hate
hand.
to say it, but the slideshow is not coming up. It's still on
God
your main
dang it.
screen.
It says it's paused. My screen is paused. Why? You turd. Okay. Let me try.
Yeah, it's not. It's like the slideshow itself went to a different screen, and that's not showing up
Okay.
now.
Let me try it one more time, and then if this doesn't work, then you're gonna share it.
Wow, Janelle, you're in the Target parking lot. That's
Yeah. Okay, let's
some
try.
dedication.
Okay. Is this but why? Why is
Mm,
it paused?
yeah,
Okay.
it's
You
for
share
whatever
it.
reason just not loading your.
Ah. Nothing works today.
Were you? I guess it really doesn't matter. So let's. Oh, that's right. I did close that. Hold on.
You share it, and then we'll talk about it. Yay, Coronal comes to town. It's our title.
Phew.
Okay. So here is our film interruption. So yeah, they're really pretty to look at, especially on the edges, prominences as they call them when they're on the edges, filaments when they're on the front, and get, just a refresher. And there was a lot of pictures of this put on Twitter and stuff because it's a pretty one. Yeah, unlikely to arrive because it's so far off on the limb. So I don't even think it's been modeled. If they did, it's because they have other things to watch out there. So yeah, this
I'm
was
sure
the
this one was probably modeled.
yeah, I'm sure it is because there's things that there's spacecraft and stuff on the other side.
It's a beautiful eruption.
Yeah, it's a really pretty one. Unfortunately, yeah, not coming here. I like
Still, definitely
yeah,
not
definitely
coming.
not coming, and I love the next one. It's like still not coming. This was the M1 flare from today, and where Christian was telling you that about the CME launch, and yeah, it's still not coming. So, but here's what we do have coming. It's a coronal hole. But however, it's a negative polarity, and as we are going to allude here, we're heading into the fall season where the negative polarity starts to become not great for activity. It just is not as geo-effective because of the tilt, our relative tilt to the sun. So that vector changes. But regardless, it'll still show up, and even if it's not the most geo-effective thing in the world, it does drive substorming. I mean, we saw it with this last one. If you're, gung-ho about getting out there and chasing all the substorms, I mean, there likely will be something. So, it's good to keep an eye on. But yeah, other than that, low risk of flares because there's very few active regions. However, as you saw, there's the one on the east limb, but we like to be careful talking about these because, as we know, they like to be active on the limbs, and when they come around, they tend to shut up. So,
Yeah, I'm definitely not
oh,
even counting on something
I'm not
occurring
going to
yet.
say anything about it until we A, see it, and then it does something for us. So for now, yeah. So here's our solar wind from the last coronal hole. And it's pretty cool, actually, because if you remember, oh, we had that, I might have to bring it back up again,
The
but
synoptic map.
the synoctimac, and it had the crazy weird shaped coronal hole, and there are two pockets of positive polarity areas, and then the negative coronal hole. And you can actually see that in the solar wind data when it
Boop,
crossed
boop,
over.
boop.
Like it was in the coronal hole, crossed over, went back in the coronal hole, crossed over. So that's your sector boundary crossings. It's pretty clear. And then we got into the fast solar wind a little bit later on. Um, didn't really do too much. It didn't have a lot of IMF to work with. Well, it was there and then it was gone. Like it was pretty kind of quick.
That tiny little moment here, I'm sure probably formed something, but
Yep.
that would have been
And
it.
you could see there with the BZ, it's like you just don't have a lot of BZ right now. It kind of is around zero. Um, and that's just the nature of the as we get into the fall season with the negative polarity stuff, it just isn't quite angled correctly to put the BZ in there. So here's a couple neat little charts that show how the previous rotation that's on the left and then the current rotation. And you could see the substorms that happened from them. But what's interesting to note is the speed dropped off on this current rotation. Um, it's a more complex shape, and therefore that actually helps it lose a little bit of speed because of that. So if you have a coronal hole that's like a big blob right in the middle, right in the middle, that will there's and it's yeah, especially right in the middle because that'll shove a lot of the high speed stream right at you. You start twisting things up, and it just like I mean you could think about like twisting anything up, like you're not going to get a straight shot anymore. It's all like bent. And maybe not bent's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's like it's not a straight shot anymore, so it slows things down. That's actually our key takeaway for today is that the shape matters. Shape location, it matters. And you can see it clearly in the data. And this is another one. You can see it. This is three rotations, June, July, and August. And you could actually see the difference in the substorming.
Increasing pretty much sense, it looks like. And
Mhm.
of course, the patterns won't be exactly the same because why
Yeah.
would they be? But
But I mean, it's still look, it still drove some activity. So it's not like it's not doing anything, but it's just, everybody is just on this edge right now. I say, I want to see something great because we all got spoiled last year. And it's like, but it's nature. This is what nature does. You just got to be patient or fly to Alaska. One
that's
of
my preferred one.
them. Or go
I don't
there.
have patience, so I'm going to where it's at.
Yeah, but it's you just got to be patient. The really unfortunate part is that our positive polarity sector is locked with the solar or the full moon right now. That really is kind of a bummer. I mean, obviously, like it'll change a little bit here and there because the days don't totally line up, but it just kind of that's our bummer, because we need the positive polarity for the fall. But so yeah, location, size, and shape matter. Trans-equatorial coronal holes are more geo-effective, the one where they're more in the center, or across, I should say, across the central meridian. Longitudinal spread is important. So again, like in the center versus up on the top, because it's just going to be, things are going pointing up instead of directly at you. So the peak speed and the duration of that speed. So if it's all pointing up, you're not going to get as much as if it coming out right at you. And the geomagnetic or geometric complexity. So complex shape reduces the peak speed of the high speed stream. That is the most interesting thing that I've come across, that Tanya brought to light today.
It
So
basically becomes a CIR in a way. It's
yeah,
angled in the slower solar winds, so you end up with some denser and a little bit heavier hitting stuff, but you never really get into that fast, just free stream that it should have.
yeah, and then I know, we'll note too, because the speed, if you have something high speed that can drive a lot of the IMF too, like because it'll it can compress the magnetic field. So if you don't have those nice long segments of high speed, like and it just it's all over the place, and you don't have the IMF either. That's what we were seeing the last week, is like you had some of the speed but no IMF to work with, like once it dropped off.
Yeah,
Like it was there for a little
quite
bit.
literally.
Because you could watch like where the speed was, where was it like 600-ish, past the peak. And
Barely, yeah.
and the IMF was like 5. It's like, yeah, it's just not going to do much at all unless you're in the upper, higher latitudes. But for us poor saps that live in the mid latitudes
Good question, Ray. How far from the solar equator can a coronal hole be to affect us?
from the equator,
I don't have actually a firm answer on that either,
yeah, because
but it
we've
depends on a
seen
couple
them.
things.
Yeah, go for it. You explain it.
So it depends on where we're at. So keeping in mind too the look we have on the sun, we're different locations throughout the year as far as plus or minus the equator area. But you generally it's a decent amount. If we are, let's say it's the spring or the winter when the angle is the steepest, then usually if it's like let's say a coronal hole in the opposite hemisphere, it could have a chance of missing us. But the spread is so high, there's a decent shot, unless they're on the poles, that we're basically going to get most of, or at least some of every coronal hole that comes through, as long as it's plus or minus 30, 40 some degrees. Again, no real hard data on that one. I can't really say for sure that's a fact, but that's been a general rule. As long as it's within about 35, 40 degrees plus or minus, I've noticed that it will at least affect us somewhat. Polar ones, no, of course, you've got nothing there, but
Yes, what he said. And I think that was probably the only, let's see, what did Janelle say about me? The far side doesn't get any more CMEs or say, I'm not sure I believe that. I was like, yeah, because I think we were talking the other day because, everybody talks about all the limbs. Oh, the limbs are so busy. But the one that you have to do remember, we're looking at a two-dimensional picture and the limb is foreshortened. So there's a lot of spread along that foreshortened area that we don't see. So is it necessarily the same spots? No, we just, we can't really tell because it's a two-dimensional picture. But there's a spread of longitudes across that.
imagine if we had like a satellite on the
Yeah.
opposite edge on the west and the opposite edge of the east. We could call one ahead and one behind. Oh, wait, it's been done.
Yeah, and then one,
We had more imagery to work with 15 years ago than we do now.
I don't like that.
I just realized that.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
sad.
terrible thing.
Hmm.
But I did every time I think about Stereo B though, I feel so bad because I'm like, it's in a perpetual spin.
Twirling through
And the
space
poor
without
thing is
any
just
direction.
scrolling forever. That's terrible.
Well, I
Poor
don't think I
thing.
have any more myself on that.
Yeah, I think that was it.
That was the last slide, too.
Yeah, I think what we wanted to hit on was that kind of stuff, and then the coronal hole incoming, which we did. Because right now it's center disk, so that's like about 3 days. We should start seeing something from that. But
I'm
like,
not counting on much either.
yeah,
It doesn't look that great.
it'll probably be more like kind of like last week. You'll get some substorming out of it probably. But is it, that's going to be the ones that want to chase it hard. Um, I'm going to be up north helping with this workshop, so I'll be out, but I'm not going to be super hopeful about things, but I'll be watching it just because I'm there. It's one of those things. Like if you're in the area, you might as well keep an eye on it. Would I travel for it? Probably not. I know that's the thing, I always harp on Janelle with because we go back and forth with it. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't travel for it unless I wasn't already up there.
Yeah, if you're already in the area, why not?
So that's the kind of the takeaway. I don't think we got any more questions. Let's see. Yeah, this one's a negative polarity, Janelle. So it's not our favorable one. So, but I think that's the last question. So if anybody has anything, speak now or forever hold your peace. Is that how that goes? That
I
thing.
think.
Yeah. And sorry about the delay. What a day. Oh my God. And this whole week has just been a blur. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest. I just know you guys said let's do a stream today. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I did say Friday or whatever, yeah, was gonna work. Yeah, so here we are. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to have some cloud. Like tonight's cloudy, but there's nothing really going on tonight, so yeah. Price on.
Which is funny because I've used them for the last like 5 trips I've taken, and
I've
it's normally
used
not that
them a
bad.
lot. It's usually been fine. This is the
I
first,
wonder
like,
if it was just specific to that hotel
I
rather
don't
than them.
know. I really don't know, but I've never had anything canceled without like any
Like some
warning
notice. Yeah, that is pretty bad.
and no refund. So I'm like, oh, you're gonna cancel it and not refund my money? I'm like,
That
you
seems like theft to me.
yeah. But like I told you earlier, I was like, if I would have just stuck with my usual plans of sleeping in my car, this wouldn't be a problem. But then again, I wouldn't be in this nicer hotel either.
That's
Ah,
fair. Pretty good payoff.
so it's okay. Sorry, I'm extra goofy today. You know. Yeah, like how can you lose I have no idea how they lost it. I really don't. It's a first. It's a first for me. And it doesn't help that it's Northern Michigan on a weekend, because it's like trying to find a place to stay up here on a weekend's always tough because it's prime travel season for everybody. Yeah. She's upgrading to Qdoba. Yeah, now we're just chit-chatting. So I can let you guys go if you want. You guys are all fun to talk to though. I love the banter and the chat. I really
Late
do.
night banter.
Yeah. So we'll see about next week. Because I'm helping with that workshop, so I don't know the schedule with that, how that's gonna go, but I think it's gonna be done by the end of next week, so we should be able
So
to
as
see.
per usual, we'll be able to let you guys know like the day it's happening. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I know the day that it's happening. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Gabe and Chris tomorrow and get the whole rundown of what we're supposed to do, and then hopefully I'll have a better idea. But it should be fun. We're chasing lighthouses.
Yay!
Yay! Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a well, you're welcome. I'm glad you guys I glad you guys can make these last minute things because it's nice when you can schedule them. And we will get back to that, once I stop taking every job offered to me. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, our guest, I think we have a date for that. I gotta double check the emails. But it looks like it's gonna be September 30th. Um, but I will get back to you and let you guys know. But it looks like that's going to be the date that works for most of us. So we'll see. So hold on, because I am looking forward to that one because he knows the magnetosphere and I want to know the magnetosphere too, really bad. So I'm looking forward to that one. Oh, it actually worked in his favor. Good. At least somebody got something out of it. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys are awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week. Sometime next week. We'll figure it out.